What's up, you guys? It's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to do kind of just like a sit down and talk video. I feel like I haven't done like a true one of these in a while. I don't know. I woke up this morning and I felt like today I wanted to be the big sister that you never had and answer your questions about relationships and give you guys advice and talk about my experiences. I just wanted to have like a chill sisterly conversation with you guys. I mean, even if you do have a big sister, I'm still kind of the one you never had, just simply because I'm not biologically related to you. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I was going with that. I don't know. I just thought that this would be fun. I want it to be helpful for you guys because I do feel like I have a lot to say and I have a lot of experiences to share and perspectives and stuff. And it's always nice to hear just about, you know, someone else's experience because, you know, these are things that we've really all been through or we will all go through at some point. This morning, I asked you guys on my Instagram story to send me any questions that you have about relationships or like any advice that you guys want. And I went through a little bit ago and I screenshotted some, so I am going to try and like cover the scope of what everybody was saying. Like I tried to kind of figure out what questions are being asked the most, so I want to make sure that I can address a bunch of that stuff. I don't really know if I need to say anything else about this. Like it's pretty straightforward. We're gonna have a talk today. Oh god, not the talk, but a talk. We're just gonna have a nice chill, you know, chat. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, light a candle, and let's talk. Obviously, I'm here with my iced coffee from Dunkin'. The lighting just keeps changing, but honestly, that's life. So I have screenshotted a bunch of questions that I would like to answer. And I'm just gonna start at the very beginning to make this easy for me when I'm editing. You're welcome, editing Hannah. All right, question number one. How do you really know when a guy is into you? You know, this can be difficult because guys love to do this thing where they just don't want to act like they're into you when they are. Not all guys. Okay, let me put a big fat disclaimer right here before we even get any further that I'm not trying to generalize people in general. If I say guys or girls or whoever, I'm not trying to say like that's what everybody does. I'm literally speaking from my own experiences. I'm not saying that this is everybody. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not like saying that these are facts. I'm saying this is what I've experienced. These are my opinions. Just wanted to put that out there. I think that there's really two ends of the spectrum here. On one end, they could act like they have absolutely no interest in you whatsoever, and they could act like you're the last person on the face of the earth that they ever want to speak to. Or on the other end of the spectrum, which is the better end in my opinion, and the one that I believe is most effective, because what is the damn point? We're too old for this. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not playing games. Like, the world's going up in flames. Why are we playing games? If somebody wants to talk to you, they will. They'll make an effort, a very clear effort to talk to you and to be in your life. I hope that was, I don't even know if that was an answer, but that's kind of my thought process. I don't know. Next, any tips for people with trust issues? It's me. I'm people. Honestly, I have struggled with this for, God, when did I first experience this? When I was 15, 16? I'm almost 21. So it's been a solid amount of time that I have had extreme trust issues. When you experience something so scarring in a way, like emotionally scarring, that breaks your trust completely, it really does affect you as a person. Having trust issues, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being hesitant to trust people because not everybody deserves to be trusted. Something that I have had to come to terms with is if I ever want to be in a happy relationship, if I ever want to be in a relationship at all, then I have to learn how to get past those initial trust issues, because of course when I first meet somebody, my walls are up. I don't trust you, I'm just getting to know you. But when you start to get to know somebody and you get a feel for who they are, if you feel like they're a genuinely good person and that they really like you, you're gonna have to figure out a way to put those trust issues to the side. And that's where the whole question of, does this person mean enough to me that I will put myself out there and I will trust them even if it means that I could potentially get hurt? Not everybody is the person that hurt you. That's really important. That's something I need to freaking listen to. Like, I'm gonna give y'all all this advice, but most of it I probably don't even follow myself. I mean, I know it's true, but it's hard to put into practice. So don't think I'm saying, oh, this is so easy. It is so much easier said than done. But you're gonna come to a point where you have to decide, is this person important to me? And if yes, are they important enough that I want to put myself out there again and risk being hurt? You might put yourself out there and think this person's a good person, then they might hurt you too. That's how the trust issues just get worse, is when you experience it the first time and then you meet somebody else, you think they're a good person, you put yourself out there again, and then you get hurt again and your trust gets broken again. So then it just all kind of, it's like a big fat snowball that just happens, and then the trust issues just get deeper and deeper, and it becomes harder and harder for you to open up because you kind of have like this past history of multiple people doing this to you, and you're like, okay, well, if all these people did it, then who's to say that you can just assume assume that everybody else will, but that mindset you can't have. You can't have the mindset that everybody is going to do that to you, or that if the past 5 people in a row have done that to you and you meet somebody new and you genuinely feel good about them, like, you can't close yourself off because of other people, because then they're winning in a way. Those people that hurt you will continue to have a hold on you and over you until you can overcome those feelings and understand that, yes, I might get hurt, but I mean, at least I'm trying. So something that I have had to work on really, really hard is, if you meet somebody that you genuinely think is amazing and that they deserve your trust because they've proven to you that they are genuine, that's a good person. You need to grab that and hold on to it as tight as you can, because people like that don't come around often. You have to make the conscious decision that I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to. Because if I feel that you deserve my trust, like, you deserve for me to give you that chance. Tips on long distance. Okay. I'm a junior in college, if you guys don't know. Every relationship that I've been in college has been long distance. For me, what I really just anchor myself on in distance relationships is, there's a reason that I'm with this person, because I see something in them and there's a lot of potential for, like, us as a couple. Like, that's obviously, that's why you get into a relationship in the first place, I would assume. At least that's why I do. It's about the person that you feel that doing a distance relationship might be hard, but being without them completely would be even harder. It's about that. You have to make sure that you feel that way about the person and that they feel that way about you, because I mean, obviously a relationship takes a lot of work from both parties anyway, as it is, but for distance, you don't see each other a lot. You have to rely on other forms of communication, whether it's like calling each other, writing each other, texting each other, whatever it is. You have to rely on that. So you have to have a good foundation. It has to be extremely mutual. You need to make sure that you're both on the same page and that you're both committed and you're both going to put in the maximum effort to, like, make it work, because at the end of the day, if this person is your person, then you'll make it work and you will come out of it on the other side. It's really a mental game, honestly. You kind of have to downplay it in your mind. You have to kind of tell yourself, like, this isn't a big deal, like, this is fine, like, we're gonna get through it. Because if you sit there and you think about, oh, this sucks, like, I hate this, which I'm guilty of. Nobody's positive all the time. The way that you think and your thoughts, like, will shape your reality. So if you're thinking positively, then you'll attract positive energy. If you're thinking negatively, you'll attract negative energy. The law of attraction, y'all have heard of it on YouTube before. This is 2020. What you think becomes your reality. How to move on from a long-term relationship / how to get back into the dating world. My biggest piece of advice for this is, give yourself time after a relationship, especially if it's a long one. You need to give yourself that time to kind of grieve the relationship. When I was in high school, I had my first boyfriend when I was a sophomore. I was kind of stuck on that guy for, like, probably 2 years. And then I got into another relationship, and then I was in that one for over a year. Then I honestly just never had time to breathe in the middle and figure out what the hell I'm doing and, like, who I even am, because I was so invested in these people. I needed a break so badly. Like, I needed to breathe so badly after all of that I had been through, and I still did not give myself that time. Honestly, it's all just a big fat learning experience, and you kind of learn as you go. At least that's how I've always been with my life. Just give yourself time after you get out of a relationship. Sometimes it does feel easier to just kind of jump right into something else, because that gives you a distraction from how you're feeling about the relationship that just ended. But the problem is that you don't want to ignore your feelings. You need to confront them and you need to understand them in order to overcome them. And just putting distractions in your way to try and, like, cover up how you're feeling is just not going to do anything good for you in the long run. It's honestly putting you at a disadvantage, because then those feelings, I mean, maybe they go away for some people, just like those feelings that you never really acknowledged or never worked through. They might go away for some people, but I know for me personally, that's just not how it works. And then if I don't, work through them, they're just going to continue being there and getting in the way of everything else. Taking time for yourself is never a bad thing. Your mental health is what's most important, and you're the only person whose feelings that you can control. I mean, if you feel like you're ready to get into another relationship, that's great. Like, good for you. Do whatever you feel is best for you. But I just think that it's a good idea to take some breathing room, get back to who you are at your core, how to get back into the dating world. You gotta know when you're ready. The best way to prepare yourself to get back into the dating world is simply just to focus on yourself and do your own thing, create your own happiness and radiate your own positive energy, because that energy that you're putting out into the world will come back to you. You just need to be yourself. You need to do your own thing. You need to be happy on your own. You need to find your own passions. You just need to, continue living your life. When the time is right for you to get into another relationship, it'll happen. Oh God. Next question is my worst heartbreak story. My very first relationship ended really badly. I never thought I would get through it. I think there might be a question. Yup. How did you get over your first heartbreak? I'll get to that. And I thought that that would be the worst heartbreak I would ever feel. And then it just got so much worse. I don't want to like disrespect anybody. I don't regret any of the relationships that I've been in because all of them I've learned from and I've grown from and they've made me into the person that I am today. But there was one relationship that I was so stuck on this person and I would have done anything for them, truly. They became my entire world. But, you know, things were so toxic on both ends. Like, we both contributed to it. And there's just so much, like, history and all these, like, complications and stuff. And I wanted it to work out so badly, but it just wasn't going to. And I think that that was probably the worst because I had to say goodbye to somebody who I truly loved. And that's, you never want to do that. But I had to for myself, and it was very hard, and it took a lot out of me. It took a lot of courage. It took a lot of strength. Hurting somebody else, especially somebody that you care about that much, is a horrible feeling. It was hard. It was hard, and it took me a while to come to terms with everything that had happened. How did you get over your first heartbreak? So this goes back to the first boy that I ever dated. Honestly, I don't know how the hell I got over that. I remember when we first broke up. I remember it like it was yesterday, like vividly. And I remember thinking, this is something I'm never ever gonna be able to overcome. This is the worst feeling in the world. I don't know what to do. How do I go on? And then I ended up being stuck on this person for a solid 2 years after that. So clearly, this one was a work in progress, but it was also the first time I ever had to deal with something like this, and there was so much to it. I felt so strongly for this person, and this person, like, I don't know if he even liked me at all, to be honest. He, like, didn't really act like he did. He would kind of pull me along. It was like a yo-yo to him, kind of. Sometimes he would want me there, sometimes he wouldn't, sometimes he would, but then he would pull me back, then he would push me away, and then he would pull me back. It was literally that back and forth, and it was draining. At one point, after the same thing happening over and over, something in me was just like, okay, this is enough. And that's it. I literally never turned back. It got to a point where I was done. A lot of times, like, if my friends are going through something like this, they're with a guy who's similar to the guy that I'm talking about, I want to share that you just need to walk away, but I also know that I had to come to that on my own, and I had to figure that out on my own in my own time. It took me a really freaking long time to figure that out. There was a moment where I just said that I've had enough, and that was it. I don't even know how to explain it, but that's what happened. And I remember sending this person a text, a lengthy one, basically telling them to get out of my life. It was kind of a harsh text, but after everything that I had been through and just how I'd been feeling, I was like, I need to say these things because this is just not okay. Once I sent that text, I cried. I cried like a baby because I was so proud of myself. I was finally removing myself from the situation, and it had taken so much. It took years for me to get to that point, and I was so proud of myself. Do you think a friends with benefits situation can work? This isn't my strong suit. If it's with your ex, no. Nope. Nope, 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 no. If it's with not your ex, maybe. I don't have experience in this field, but if it's with your ex. What destroys a relationship? Oh, let's just name some things. Lying, liars, inability to be honest, lying, not telling the truth. Also, shitty communication. You have to be able to communicate with the person. If you can't, if the person's not willing to communicate with you, there's nothing you can do. Like, it's very hard to have a relationship where you don't communicate with each other effectively because you won't be able to solve problems. You can't, what do you do without communication? You don't do anything. Immaturity will ruin a relationship. Disrespect, carelessness. How do you overcome the awkwardness of first? Bitch. I'm very socially awkward. So this is something I struggle with. I feel like when I get into a new relationship, I think about all the things that are gonna transpire for the first time and how, like, I just kind of get in my head about it. But I think that if you feel comfortable with the person, that awkwardness will either be greatly reduced or eliminated completely. That can obviously take a really long time to feel completely comfortable with somebody. I'm a very anxious person, so if you make me feel comfortable, that's huge. The awkwardness isn't nearly as bad if you're comfortable with the person, especially if you two can joke about the awkwardness. That's really important. If something's happening and it's hella awkward and you're comfortable with the person, you can say, like, this is awkward. But if you're not comfortable with the person, you might just kind of be like, huh, like, you know, just kind of go with it, and you'll just keep experiencing the awkwardness. But I think it's just all about how comfortable you are with them. Should you ever consider getting back with an ex if you both think we're more mature now? I mean, I don't see why not. If you're both on the same page and you both want to get back together and you've both grown and you want to give it another shot, I mean, I don't see why not. There's a saying that everybody and their mom has heard. That's like, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never meant to be. I feel like it's kind of like that situation. If you truly loved that person and they loved you and you just felt that the timing wasn't right, so you decided to go your separate ways, but then you find each other again later in life and you both want to mutually give it another shot, I see nothing wrong with that. I'm almost 20 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. Is there something wrong with me? No, there's no age that you have to have a boyfriend. Shit happens at different times for everybody. Everybody's different. Everybody goes through different things in their life and your time will come. Don't rush it either. Don't try really hard to get into a relationship just because you feel like you should be in one or you feel like you're behind. You're not behind. There's no like, we're all just kind of out here doing whatever the fuck we think we're supposed to be doing. I mean, I know lots of people who are your age, person who's writing this, and who have been in the same boat as you. You're not alone, first of all, and second of all, there's nothing wrong with you. Be yourself, do your thing, continue living your life, and you will cross paths with the right person at the right time. How to enjoy being single. First of all, there's nothing wrong with being single. I look at it as an opportunity, a very open opportunity to just fall in love with yourself. The most important thing is that you love who you are. It's just a really good opportunity for you to do that. I mean, it's always a good time to try new things, but I kind of just feel extra motivated to do so when I'm single because I'm like, I'm just gonna reinvent myself, and there's just nothing wrong with trying new things and finding new hobbies and finding things that you love and finding passions and just becoming better at stuff because you have all this time and energy that you're putting just towards yourself. There's a lot of positive self-growth that can happen in that time, and I think that that's really what should be the focus of, you know, being single, because you want to develop yourself to be the best person that you can be, because you want your partner to also be the best person that they can be, so that together you can be strong individuals, but you can also be strong together. You can come together as a couple and be powerful as together and also powerful as on your own. You can't do the powerful on your own part unless you take the time to develop yourself. That was a good answer. I think that was my best answer yet. How do you solve arguments? Communication. That's it. Strong communication, honesty and respect for each other, and also being with somebody who understands that you trying to solve an issue is not you trying to argue. That's one of the most annoying things, is if you are having a problem with your significant other, there's something going on and you want to talk about it, and you bring up the situation and you say how you feel about it. If the first reaction that they have towards you voicing your feelings about it is that you are trying to argue with them, break up with them immediately. You can't communicate well with somebody who just thinks that you're trying to argue every time you talk about your feelings. You're allowed to feel things. You're allowed to express those, especially in a relationship. You need to communicate those things with each other so that you can understand each other. So if you're trying to tell somebody what you feel about a situation and they are like, oh, like you're always trying to argue, no, break up with them immediately. I mean, if you decide not to break up with them immediately and you try to work on that whole thing and nothing happens and nothing changes and they still react like that to you telling them your feelings, you need to break up with them. There's just nothing you can do. But for people who know how to communicate like civilized human beings, just talk out your feelings. It's easier to do it in person because over text things get messed up and there's a lot of interpretation of how things were meant, and you know, because in person you can see someone's body language and you can hear how they're saying words and stuff, and if something is misunderstood between you two, you can easily resolve it. Over text things just never goes well, and then people start yelling at each other and it's just a big mess, and that's not what we want. Because in a relationship, you're in that relationship with that person because you like them and you want to be with them, and if you don't like them or don't want to be with them, you should probably break up with them. But you should want to work out your problems just so that you can continue on and continue your relationship and grow as a couple. Like, the goal is not to fight with each other and then like be the one who has the upper hand. Like, there's none of that. It's not a competition. It's not like you're here together. It's not one person wants to be up here. That's not how it works. It's not, and that's not good. It's not healthy. Okay. How do you deal with the hookup culture in college? I don't participate. And if somebody talks to me and I feel like that's the only thing that they want from me, I will respectfully remove myself from the situation, and that's it. I mean, if you participate, that's fine. That's great. Do you. That's awesome. I'm not trying to say that that's bad. It's not. It's just, I just personally don't dabble in that. But if you do, that's fine. That's great. What would you do if a guy said he likes you but gets back together with his ex after that? He's a liar, dude. Don't speak to him ever again. Block him. That's what I would do. Block him. How do you deal with the pressure of not ruining things when you meet a real good guy? I'm gonna end on this one because this one hits different for me. I am such a perfectionist and an overthinker, and I have tons of anxiety, so I always am very cautious of pretty much everything when I meet a really good guy, because I really don't want to fuck things up. But that mindset is really not good. You need to give yourself more credit. I sometimes think to myself like, oh, I don't want to ruin this, like, but then I'm like, hold up. First of all, you need to remind yourself of who you are, and you need to know who you are as a person in order to get over that feeling. I know how big of a heart I have. Why am I even worried about me ruining things? Like, that's not what I should be worried about going into a new relationship. I shouldn't be worried. I should be focused on getting to know that person. I should be focused putting my energy towards furthering our relationship and growing with this person. That's what we should be focusing on, not, oh, I hope I don't do this wrong, because that's not the energy. Like, we need to be positive energy, going forward at all times, continuing to improve, not sitting there and being like, oh, like, what if I fuck up? Like, no, just put your best foot forward, be vulnerable and be genuine with this person, just be yourself. Just shift that thinking, shift that mindset from, oh, I hope I don't mess up, to, I'm excited to get to know this person and I'm excited to see like where this goes. That's the mindset that we need to have. To be honest, bro, love is weird. Relationships are weird. You think that you're gonna be single forever, and then somebody comes into your life and changes everything, and it's like you never saw them coming, but now they're the best thing that's ever happened to you, and it just all happens in such like a unexpected way. I've just learned to not go looking for things, because the best things, the best relationships anyways, from my experience and in my life, have come unexpectedly. Be patient. Patience is a virtue, and it's one that's very important here, because trying to rush into things, from my experience, you know, hasn't really gone well. So I really hope that out of this hour of footage that I just filmed and talking that I just did, that I said at least one relevant, helpful thing. One. Because I feel like I was rambling. That's what happens when I do these talking videos. I ramble. That was fun. That was a nice talk that we had with each other. I love sharing my experiences and perspectives on stuff with you guys, because I've said this a million times, but everybody is different, and that's what's so cool, because everybody has different experiences, everybody has different perspectives to share, and you can learn so much from other people and listening to other people. I just love it. That's why I love this platform that I have. I love that I can do this. I can just sit here and talk to a camera and then put it out there for all of you guys and maybe have some type of positive impact. I don't know. I just think it's amazing, and I love it, and I want to utilize it. I want to do these videos more because I just love talking to you guys. That was a lot. I talked a lot. So I'm going to go, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if any future topics that you guys would want me to do videos like this about. Thank you guys so much for watching. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you stay until this point in the video, bro, this is probably going to be really long. So if you stay until this point in the video, comment down below, I'm a real one, because you are most definitely a real one. If you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I post a new video every single Sunday, except for the one time where footage got deleted 3 times and I had to start all over again, and then I actually posted on Tuesday. You know, it happens, it's fine. And if you forget that I post a new video every single Sunday, or if I can't post exactly at my normal time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, or if I experience technical difficulties and all my footage gets deleted and I have to redo everything multiple times, then I suggest you turn on my post notifications if you want to be notified exactly when I post a new video, because life is unexpected sometimes, and I am very sorry for that, but sometimes it's out of my hands. And you know, if you still want to be notified, make sure you turn on the post notifications. I think that's all. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.